Hi Tom, welcome back. How's life been treating you since we last saw each other?
Hi Kelly, Stacey and I have been busy at work, which is why Stacey's unfortunately unavailable once again. How about you?
I've been busy as per usual, but otherwise I've been well, thank you. Before we get started, did you and Stacey have any concerns from our last meeting?
We haven't had much time to consider very much given our workload, but I don't think we had any issues with our previous meeting. We have, however, been tracking our expenses and now understand why we aren't saving.
That's great. It'll make it a lot easier to show you how we can manage your financial situation and then further achieve your goals.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing your suggestions.
So previously we discussed your goals and your risk tolerances and decided that you're best suited to moderately conservative and balanced investments, and you're open to a little bit of risk. We also discussed the importance of you managing your debts. Did you and Stacey discuss this at all?
We did discuss this and have decided that it is in our best interest to minimise our debts to allow us to achieve our financial goals.
Okay, that's great, Tom. I'm certain once I explain this financial plan that I've developed for you, you'll get a better understanding of how it can improve your financial position and get you and Stacey where you'd like to be.
That sounds great. We're open to any suggestions given our current situation.
That's great to hear. So to start off, we'll take a look at your current situation. I've got a couple of potential changes that can be made to help you save money right from the get-go. Sorry, that's the wrong one. So you're currently using all of your income to make your ends meet, which is leaving you nothing for emergencies aside from Stacey's emergency fund with the credit union. You also have no insurance or wills in place. Can I ask why that is?
Stacey and I have never deemed it to be relevant to take out any insurance or create a will each. We've just expected that everything will go to each other and sort itself out.
Okay. So safeguarding yourselves and your assets is extremely important, especially given your current financial obligations. So obtaining life insurance in the unfortunate event of death would protect you and Stacey financially. So should one of you pass, the financial obligations wouldn't be a burden to the other. It's also highly recommended that you each appoint enduring a power of attorneys and create a will to ensure that your possessions will legally be left to one another, and decisions can be made on your behalf if necessary.
What kind of decisions do these include?
So you can determine what financial and medical decisions are made by your power of attorney, so you decide what they're authorised to do. But this is only under circumstances where you're unable to make the decisions yourself. So this might be because of disability, injury, or even something simple as travelling. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense that this would benefit Stacey and I in the long run.
Okay, cool. It gives you peace of mind knowing that you're protected as well. So the next thing that I wanted to speak about was your budget. Where are we at? So, given your current financial situation, I'd consider downsizing your vehicles, which will help minimise your debts. So between the rent and your car repayments alone, you and Stacey are currently using over half of your disposable income just to meet those ends. And so by making changes to those outlays, you can still live a comfortable lifestyle whilst also saving a generous portion of your income.
So what are you suggesting?
So firstly, I think it would be a great benefit if you were to trade your current vehicles in for more affordable vehicles, such as perhaps a Mitsubishi Triton for yourself and a Hyundai Accent for Stacey, given your work and lifestyle commitments. Given that vehicles are also depreciating assets, it's better to purchase them outright, or at least once you still have stable assets, such as a home. So despite the trade value of your current vehicles, you can still halve your repayments by considering your choice of vehicles. How would you feel if you were to do that?
Obviously, as we've only just purchased the vehicles, it's not the first idea that came to mind. However, I do understand why you suggested this. It isn't such a silly idea considering Stacey and I literally only commute to work and home due to our work.
That's understandable. So secondly, you previously mentioned the possibility of relocating. So you're currently paying approximately $3,800 per month in rent alone. Yet many properties in the area would allow you to keep your dogs whilst also maintaining a city lifestyle for much less. For example, there's a property in Spring Hill that's costing less than $500 per week, and it allows pets for a fraction of what you pay now. So I think that would suit you both perfectly. Would you agree?
For sure. Stacey and I have been considering relocating for some time, but this is a great opportunity to kickstart that idea. Knowing that there are more affordable places to rent would also help us get close to our goals.
It certainly will help. To show you how, I've just drawn up a rough budget of what you could aim to spend each month to help you alleviate your debts. So this is considering the cost of if the previously discussed changes were made, and obviously the budget would change if you didn't do that. So depending on these changes, you could potentially save up to $5,000 per month depending on the credit repayments that you make. In this one here, it's got payments of $3,165 a month to your credit card, which would still allow for $2,000 in savings. This will also give you the capacity to make investments and save for your house deposit using those savings. And if that budget is followed to a T, you could easily purchase your home within the next 2 to 3 years, even with those car loans and credit card debt, which would meet your budget and also your medium-term goals of owning that house.
That's actually really good. We didn't sort of realise how such a small change could have such a massive effect on the amount we're able to save and how quickly we can get into our own home.
Mm-hmm. So you've also talked about your investments and how you wanted to perhaps get into that.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get a healthy budget and your living circumstances get under control, that's a big consideration to have to help increase your income and your net worth over the next few years. So the biggest concern I have about this is your risk tolerance and your experience in investments. So although Stacey owns a small share portfolio of bank shares, you both have had little experience in investments. So it may be advisable to transfer the shares into your name, Tom, as any returns and dividends made on these shares would then be taxed at your lower tax bracket. So you'd be getting a bit of a tax break from that if it were transferred into your name as opposed to Stacey's. And furthermore, I'd suggest that you look into a managed fund. So there's this one here. We can just find it. And this balanced fund is through the Colonial First Day. It would also make your investment portfolio more diverse given Stacey's current share portfolio.
So how exactly does a managed fund work?
So managed funds are a collection of investments which are managed by professional brokers or managers who specialise in investing your money. They vary in risk profiles from defensive way through to aggressive growth, and this fund in particular has a balanced risk tolerance, so that meets your risk profiles. And a range of assets depending on the riskiness is contained within this fund. So these can include cash, bonds, property, shares and other forms of investments. Obviously as you get riskier you look at derivatives and whatnot, but this one doesn't have any of that because it is a lot riskier. They often come at a price of administration and performance fees as well as management fees, and these are based upon the balance of your account. Now this one in particular, it doesn't have any of that, well at least the management and performance costs. There's only, I think it's 0.63%, if you have a look just here. That's charged annually based on your balance account at the end of each year.
So how do we apply to buy units in this fund? Okay,
so if you go through onto the Cancer website, you can go through and I can help you out with that as well. It just takes you by a step-by-step process. So the minimum investment amount is $5,000, and as you keep saving money, you can continue to reinvest that money. There's a minimum investment amount of $100 each deposit. Now, this one also has a 9.66% investment return expected. That's in the first year alone, and as it's a 5-star CanStar rating, the fund is both secure and healthy to invest in. So this gives you invest your excess savings into a fund like this one, and will allow you to further invest your asset base and get you closer to your financial goals at a faster rate. And also, given your inexperience in investments, accepting the management fees and whatnot through this balanced portfolio would greatly benefit you and Stacey over the long term, as you wouldn't have to worry about where that money was going, and it would all be fairly safe knowing that you've got a professional managing your money. So as far as your projected savings are concerned, you could invest those savings for a year or two and then utilise a portion of that money with the fund. You can put that towards a house deposit, and then you'd still have some assets left over to continue building that towards your goal of getting onto that holiday to the Mediterranean.
That sounds perfect. It's definitely an option to consider. Do you have any information that I could give Stacey to read through though? We'll need to discuss this a lot before making any major decisions.
Absolutely, Tom. I've got a copy of the statement of advice for you to discuss with Stacey. Once you then come to a decision, we can start to implement these plans and get you both on the road to achieving your goals.
Thank you so much, Kelly. That's brilliant. Both Stacey and I really appreciate your work. We'll be sure to make our decision as soon as possible.
My pleasure, Tom. Thanks for your time, and I hope to hear from you and Stacey soon.